Hello everybody, it is me, Real American Politics, here today with a new video, and today we gotta take a look at the state of Wisconsin. What could very well be the most important swing state in this election? Now you could say Florida may be the most important swing state, or Arizona, but Florida I think is off the table for Biden. I think it's a 60-65% chance Trump wins the state, maybe 70% chance. It's a state where the math does not add up for Biden, and the recent mail-in voting data does not look good for Democrats whatsoever. So, what very well could be the most important swing state is Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin is a state that shocked the entire world in 2016, as nobody in their right mind would have thought that Wisconsin, which has voted Democrat since 1988, would flip to Trump, and it just did that. And I want to take a look at why it did, and where did Trump make these massive improvements, and where Trump could make even more improvements in 2016, or 2020. So you take a look at where the state swung in 2012, and you notice a trend. The entirety of the state, except the more establishment part, like Waukesha, Zaki, Milwaukee County, and the liberal hellscape that is Dane, all trended Republican. The entirety of the state trended Republican, except those four counties. And it's a shocker. Nobody expected this to happen. And Trump made these massive gains, in particular in the Southwest. This has always been the Democrat stronghold in this state. And of course the North, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The Southwest has always voted Democrat. Like Crawford, that's a 25-point swing Republican. Richland, that's another 20-point swing or so. It just goes on and on. Iowa County, that's a massive swing. And it's still voted Democrat, but that's a huge swing in Iowa County. And you could say, the low turnout is the reason that Trump won the state. Well, if there was higher turnout, right, it would have been probably in places like Douglas, Bayfield, more the north. The turnout was a little bit worse in these northern counties, and really nobody campaigned here. But now Trump is campaigning a lot in Wisconsin, and I think turnout will be a little bit higher in places like Brown, Dorr, more of this part of the state. So yeah, I want to discuss where is the places Trump could improve upon and what the trends are showing. So the first thing is there's 5 parts of the state. The first part is the northern part. This is where it's pure populism. This is the populist part of the state, up here. Next, you got more of the central part. Marathon, Wood, Adams, Wapaka, Portage. This is the central part. This is one of those parts where it's kind of populist to an extent, but it's a bit more socially moderate. While up in the Northwoods, they are super heavily pro-gun, and they're more socially conservative, but more economic populist. The central part is economic populism, but more socially left or moderate than the North. The next is the West. This is the part of the state that you should be very Democrat. This is where all the union workers are, and this is a fairly Democrat stronghold. And they usually are left-leaning economically, but they're more socially moderate, or a bit more socially conservative, and they are fairly, very Democrat, but Trump, as you can see, completely smashed that narrative in pieces. The next part is, of course, the swamp that is Madison and the surrounding counties. This is the liberal hellscape of the state. This is where the San Francisco of Wisconsin is, Madison. And then the last part is, the Southeast. This is the establishment hub. This is where a lot of the establishment, Republicans, Democrats, etc., live. Like Washington, Waukesha, Wellworth, Racine. Well, not really Racine, but the WOW counties, Milwaukee, Sheboygan. This is the area that's fairly, I guess you would say, just the establishment of the state. So, where can Trump make gains at? Well, there's, of course, multiple paths. The first part is the northern path. Trump can improve in places like Sawyer, Anita, Chippewa, Dunn, St. Croix, and maybe even try to flip one of these 3 northern Democrat counties. These are where a lot of retirees from Illinois go up for the North and live there for a little while, then just come back to Illinois, and they do vote. This is where a lot of Democrats are. And the best possible state Trump could possibly flip is probably Douglas, but even then that may be a stretch. But if he just improves a little bit up here and just maxes out Sawyer, Rusk, and Taylor, these are the two that you really got to max out. In this area over here, the surrounding Menominee, if you just max out this part and this part, Trump wins the state by default. But there's, of course, other paths. The next path is, of course, well, the central part. This is a part of the state where you got Marathon, which you could approve big time in. Same with Wood. Portage is the county that I don't think has ever voted Democrat. Or Republican, I should say. It's always voted Democrat, and it's swung fairly heavily Republican. And I don't think Trump can win it. It's a possibility. But it's one of those counties where it's kind of hard to predict. But I do think Trump has a chance to flip it. But most notably, he has to improve in Wapaka, Marathon, Wood. These three counties. This is where Trump needs his biggest improvement in the central part of the state. If he wants to make sure, Dane doesn't have some incredibly high turnout. He needs to improve in these counties. The next part is, well, his western part of the state. This is the driftless area down here in the southwest. Verdon, Crawford, Richland, Soy, Columbia, Grant, etc. This is a driftless area. And this is a fairly demographically perfect spot for Trump. Very white, and it's unions, it's pretty big populism down there. Like I said, it's more leftism on economic issues, but they're kind of populist, but they're more leftist, like they're pro-union, heavily pro-union. And the only counties I think Trump's probably going to lose for sure is Columbia and Sauk. These are two counties where Trump just barely won, and they're two counties where I think Biden would do a little bit better in. But the rest of them, Crawford, Richland, Vernon, these three in particular, I think Trump can do a little bit better in. I think Trump can just max out in places like Tremblay, Buffalo, Pepin, Pierce, Jackson, and try to even flip, not La Crosse, more so Eau Claire he can do a little bit better in, and the surrounding areas of Eau Claire, especially the southern part. Trump could do a little bit better in Eau Claire. Now, the last part that we're actually talking about is the southeast. We're not going to even discuss the swamp. There's no chance Trump can make pretty much any gains here, other than green. Now, this part of the state right here, this is the establishment. This is the Ben Shapiro watchers. Like Washington, Waukesha, Wellworth. These are the WOW counties. These are basically the suburbs of Milwaukee. And they're fairly establishment. And Trump did not do good at all in Waukesha County. But Walker did make improvements here in 2018 in Waukesha. That's huge for Trump. If Trump can just match his Walker's gains in the WOW counties, he's going to win the state. Washington, he's going to do probably maybe a tad bit worse. Well, Waukesha, I think, he's going to improve big time in. And Wellworth, I think he'll improve a lot in. These are three counties that traditionally always vote Republican. And I think Trump earned the respect of the WOW counties. Especially he's proven himself as a real conservative to these guys. And Trump could maybe improve in Milwaukee. Again, you got a heavy black population there. Not so much of Detroit heavy black population, but a decent part of it is. And Trump is going to improve with blacks by 2-3 points in Wisconsin. And he maybe could get to 30% in Milwaukee. Maybe not, but I think he will improve definitely Milwaukee. But the part of the state that's going to determine the entire election is the bellwethers, Racine and Kenosha. Whoever wins these two is going to win the state. Racine is for sure going to Trump. It would take a total collapse from Trump to lose them. And quite frankly, a 5-point shift towards Biden, that's unrealistic in Racine. And Kenosha is the county where Trump is, I think, going to shock a lot of people. I think he's going to get about 50%. Mostly because of the riots there. I think a lot of the riots turned off a lot of people in Kenosha. And really, this is going to help Trump dramatically, and pretty much whoever wins Kenosha wins the state. So that is the last major part. You got the eastern part. It really just pretty much more of the same. But they're not really as establishment like Brown and Dorr and Winnebago. They're not as establishment as, let's say, WoW counties, but they're a bit more establishment than the rest of the state. And I think Trump's going to improve in Winnebago. Brown, maybe. Kalamati will definitely improve in. And Dorr is the one he's going to probably improve by 5-6 points in. Now, that is my opinion. Let's actually take a look at the data. So, 2016, according to the exit polls, Wisconsin was D+1, and Trump won the state by, I believe, a percentage, about 0.7. He won the state by 0.7, and it was a D+1 Wisconsin. 2018, Evers won, but it was a D+0 environment. The only reason that the Democrats did so well in 2018 across the board, and even then it was not even that good, turnout was abysmal for Democrats, was because the independents completely fell for Evers. He ran as more of the moderate, and really a lot of these elections in the Rust Belt, these candidates ran as moderates, and it turns out they're not moderates. Like, Evers is not a moderate at all. That's all I'm going to say. But you get the point that the only reason that Democrats did so well was because of course, the independents breaking for them. Like, Walker did very good with Democrats, and that's probably Trump's voters that Walker did so well with. But he couldn't win the independent vote. If Republicans had a real healthcare plan, Walker would have won by 3-4 points. Okay? Now, the last thing is the latest voter file of Wisconsin. This is from People's Pundit, big data poll, whatever you want to say. This is the pure data. This is 2019, July. Yes, this was pre-COVID, but not much has changed. It's R+6 in Wisconsin. This here alone is showing this state is heavily trending Republican. And this is why I'm telling people that Wisconsin has a chance to go lean margin for Trump. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probably going to happen? Maybe not. But it has a good chance of happening with this kind of demographic. Now, the issue is, of course, non-affiliated. This could be kind of hard to gauge who they're going to vote for. But I don't think it's enough to overcome an R+6 state. And, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis video. If you guys did, hit the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.